Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Barbados has slowly started to emerge from recession, according to its central bank governor. This story takes center stage in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 3rd August 2021. Details when we return.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Barbados' central bank governor delivered his report card on the country's economy, claiming that it has started to slowly emerge from recession. More in this Barbados Today online news story.
Governor of the Central Bank of Barbados, Cleviston Haynes, maintains his prediction of a modest growth rate between 1% and 3% for this year, noting that the second quarter growth rate was weaker than expected.
And the reason for that is that the tourism is weaker than we had anticipated when we did our prior forecast. When we did our prior forecast, I think there was an expectation that the UK market would have reopened a little bit earlier than it has, and therefore we had expected a little bit more from the tourism output, and that would have influenced a slightly larger growth rate. Having said that, we do believe, based on the demand that we are seeing, that there could be a significant improvement in tourism during the second half of the year as we get, let's say, September to December. Obviously, there's still a lot of uncertainty, around the numbers in terms of, we do know that the hotels are seeing increased bookings. We know that there is increased airlift being planned and quite substantial increase in airlift that is being planned. But how that translates now into the numbers, we will have to wait and see. So that really is going to be critical.
Haynes, who is hinging the island's recovery on a substantial pickup in tourism business, said vaccination of the population is a critical factor.
So as a country, it seems to me that it is in the national interest for as many persons as possible to be vaccinated, purely in terms of taking care of ourselves. But beyond that, I think that if the economy is to rebound quickly, we also have to be able to provide some comfort to those who may want to visit here, who are vaccinated, and the statistics coming out soon. I saw something from the Fed recently that in the advanced economies, there are a lot more persons who are vaccinated than in the developing economies, because we have a bifurcated process where there's an uneven distribution of vaccines globally. And therefore, those who are being vaccinated and who have that demand to travel will also want to be going to countries where they believe that there's a high level of vaccination and therefore that there's a low level of risk. Doesn't eliminate the risk, but you want to make sure there's a low level of risk to the country in which you're going.
The central bank governor is confident about the future prospects for the economy, but he says there are still some challenges ahead and government and business will have to take action.
The immediate challenge facing the economy now is to build on the green shoots of growth experienced during the second quarter. The global economy remains on track for recovery as countries ease the restrictions that have been introduced to manage the virus. Barbados expects to benefit from the resumption of global activity, and our relative success in managing the virus so far encourages optimism that we will register a mild recovery during 2021 and create a platform for sustainable growth over the medium term. the bank has left its economic growth forecast unchanged at between 1% and 3% for 2021. This outlook hinges on the speed of recovery in tourism and the reports of planned increased airlift over the next 6 months to cope with pent-up demand for travel bodes well for energizing a strong but gradual recovery.
A former cabinet minister in Barbados, Hamilton Lashley, is pleased that the most stable English-speaking Caribbean island is set to become a republic.
He's not impressed that the swearing-in of the country's first president will take place on Independence Day. He suggests that November 30th is the wrong day for Barbados to mark its accomplishment of attaining Republican status. He argues that such a move will destroy the true meaning and symbol of Independence Day.
We should not, I said, we should not have Republican Day on Independence Day. They're two outstanding achievements by Barbados, by two outstanding Barbadian Prime Minister, then therefore let each have its space and its relevance in the Barbadian society.
Antigua and Barbuda government lowered the cost of COVID-19 tests to $50 to unvaccinated frontline workers in the public service. This is according to Information Minister Melford Nicholas.
That the cost will now be lowered to $50 per instance for the rapid test. The basic cost for these tests is $20 and the government has fixed the cost at $50 per instance for persons who are exercising the option to be tested.
ABS's checks reveal the market price for these tests is in the region of $200 EC, making the cost reduction to $50 significant. Minister Nicholas assures the mandating of testing was never about causing financial hardship.
Many have argued, and perhaps maybe forcefully so, that the conditions could prove to be financially onerous and even burdensome to many a person. Just to indicate that the government's balance in these affairs is not to necessarily put anyone at the point where they have a feeling that they're being economically oppressed. But there is certainly still going to be a consequence for having to conduct the test.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
As Guyana continues to see an increase in COVID-19 cases and deaths, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, recently expressed his support to the private businesses that are mandating staff members to get vaccinated or face regular COVID-19 testing. Gordon Mosley of News Source Guyana reports.
During his daily COVID-19 update, the health minister said that while there has been no confirmation of the new COVID-19 variants being present in Guyana, all of the signs are pointing to the presence of the variants. He said vaccination is important, especially in the workplaces and in service delivery organizations, noting that the move by the private businesses is to also make their work environment safe.
And you got to understand that that's one way of encouraging a safe environment. Now, if it's a public, a place that offers service to the public, you're not only putting your co-workers at risk, you're also putting the general public at risk if you're not vaccinated. So I think more and more as people get serious and understand the implications of this virus, that you will see more and more people trying to implement systems like this.
The health minister stopped short of saying whether the government will be amending legislation to make vaccination mandatory, making it clear that the government will do what is necessary to protect citizens.
We are looking at what is evolving from an epidemiological point of view, and we would take all the necessary steps to ensure that people are protected.
And while he did not say why his ministry has failed to get sequencing tests done for the new variants of the virus, Dr. Anthony said the new variants are posing some challenges, and many countries are moving to make vaccination mandatory. He pointed out that concern continues to be raised worldwide over the Delta variant, which is fast spreading.
So this variant is a very serious variant, and we would have seen the consequences in some countries, like in India, where literally thousands and thousands of people died from this particular variant. This particular variant is now in several countries, probably more than 60 countries. And in the United States, it is now becoming the most dominant variant and the cause for most of the cases now in the U.S.
According to the health minister, Guyana will continue its quest to get citizens vaccinated to avoid the Delta variant dominating daily lives. Vaccination is not mandatory in Guyana.
The UWP media are not taking their loss at the recent polls in St. Lucia well. Father of the former Prime Minister, business mogul Sir Michael Shastany, alleges that the party may have been outspent by the opposition 3-1.
UWP media is shocked that the party was crushed at the July 26, 2021 elections. The St. Lucia Labour Party won a landslide victory in Monday's elections. Former Prime Minister Alan Shastany and MP for Choiseul Bradley Felix were the only two UWP candidates who retained their seats. Known for his partisan worldview, personal put-downs, and polarizing discourse, the platform has been dominated all week by talk of who is to blame for the devastating loss at the polls. Commentator Michael Shastany, who is the father of the ex-Prime Minister, argues that based on the campaign, the UWP should not have been defeated in some 6 constituencies. Shastany appeared on UWP Talk Radio this week.
If I lose these elections, I've been outspent completely. Champagne, I'll tell you something. We don't have to be a genius. You cannot tell me that all that work that was done in certain areas, if I take, for instance, the Prime Minister's constituency, Soufrière, Choiseul, Groseilliers, Andre Miku, Andre Canaries, and one more.
And Guy, Cassius Alvis.
These 6 areas, to me, I cannot see how anybody could have lost an election based on what they have done.
Partisan UWP media commentators contend that perhaps the incumbent was outspent.
The ordinary man on the ground that listens to no radio, listens to no TV, he gets up at 5, hangs out by the street with another 4 guys. They drink a Guinness, a little shot all day. This is where they stay. I want you to listen to that, Sir Michael. These 5 guys has 5 girlfriends. That's 10 people. Development to them is not something that is deeply interested in their minds.
Yes.
If they happen to get to a hospital, so be it. If they happen to drive on the road, so be it. But the total deep interest of the community's development is not them. Now, these same 5 guys, a guy approaches them on election morning. Remember, these guys don't work. They're not interested in the development.
Right.
One guy approaches them with $2,000 or $500 on election morning and say, wait a minute, I have this $500. You go vote for me. You don't know if he's going to do it. But because he's never seen that money before, he will be sincere enough to go vote for you, and when he comes back with that red ink, he gets $500. This would be a better interest to him than roads and health centers and everything else. This is what this has come down to in St. Lucia. This is what St. Lucia point. And these people are in the majority.
Flummoxed by the outcome, theories abound, from an electorate out of tune with the former government's vision to the selection of bad candidates. The loss in the southern constituency is particularly unsettling to UWP media.
In the case of the South, people were made to feel that any of these developments with these new high structures, nice shining buildings, they don't have any place in it.
No,
they would not fit into the new development.
Yes.
So in other words, that's not for them.
That's not for them.
You understand? That is for the bourgeoisie.
Can you believe
and
that?
their Malay. So that is not for them.
Can you believe that?
And the politicians we're making them believe it's not.
Oh, yeah. The St. Lucian public waits with bated breath to find out who will be the new opposition leader, given that MP for Micoud South Alan Chasney and Choiseul MP Bradley Felix are the only UWP candidates who were re-elected at the 2021 general elections. Moreover, the future of the leadership of the party is also up for debate, given the lopsided general election results. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.